Hello and welcome to Cybersecurity Break with me, Sham. If you recognize me, amazing. Nice to see you again. You will have seen me on Sham Chat Cyber, my channel on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, where I post bite-sized cybersecurity content for the masses to get an introduction to cybersecurity, to understand what cybersecurity is and what cybersecurity does. But to more importantly, put that bit of education out there to raise awareness for cybersecurity and how important it is in this digital age. Now, what you're seeing here today is episode 1 of my podcast, and I don't have any fancy equipment just yet. I haven't set up the ring light. I don't even have a tripod. I just put on the camera and started recording. And why? Because for me, I've been recording content on social media since May last year. And a lot of it is me just talking into a camera. A lot of editing and work goes into those videos, and it just takes a lot of time and effort. The persona that I created on Sham Chat Cyber through TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and LinkedIn is fantastic. However, I felt as if I needed a raw platform where I'm able to just sit down in front of a camera with a microphone and just talk. And it's not necessarily a talk about cybersecurity. I mean, it can and it will be. For many cases, it will be. But sometimes life gets busy, and working in cybersecurity is a very, very challenging market. It's a very challenging industry, especially in my space. So you need to just sit down, relax, and get that mental health check-in, And this is an opportunity for me to sit with you one-on-one, or to sit with my friends from the cybersecurity industry and just talk about how things are going. We'll be discussing a lot of things about the cybersecurity landscape at the moment and where we see it going. Some of my friends are from the UK, and I also have many international friends that will be joining the conversation as well. But for you, the viewer, the listener, you can expect engaging conversations with people where it's just raw, it's not heavily edited, and we talk about engaging topics such as what's happening in the world right now. We will talk about the general market and the industry. Careers, I think, is an important topic as well, and how challenging the market has become there. We'll talk about advancements in technology and careers for individuals, how they got there into their positions, and many, many more topics. But aside from that, we will also tap into the human side of the people that we speak to. Now, the human side for me is a super important thing. And the reason why that is because I've spent a lot of time engaging with humans in my career for a very long period of time. And what I've found in my career is that some of the best relationships I've ever created were created because of the human connection. Some of my friends, my closest friends, some of my best friends, some of my clients and colleagues in the industry will tell you the same, that when we connected, we decided that this is what we're going to do together, and we're going to continue to engage. So it's an opportunity for you to see the human side of the person behind the job title, behind the function within cybersecurity. I'm going to try to keep it as close to cybersecurity as possible as well. So I won't be inviting anybody from the tech industry. It will be cybersecurity specific, because that is the niche that we work in, and that's where most of my content is based anyway. But of course, we want to learn who these people are. So I'll be covering topics like, what's it like being a parent while working in cybersecurity? We'll be talking about all the different niches within cybersecurity and what niches people work in and how they got into those niches. Knock the camera there. See, it's quite raw. It's quite raw. We'll be talking about how we developed our careers, how we develop relationships, who we speak to, and how we speak to them. We'll be talking about threats, attacks. We'll be using real life examples to break down what happened in that attack and how those attacks could have been avoided. But also, if you're the everyday listener, if you're the everyday watcher who just has a general interest in cybersecurity, that's great, because this is also for you. We'll cover topics like what's happening in the news. There's loads of things happening in the world right now. There are wars, battles, there are viruses, there's all kinds of things happening on the global platform, and we will cover those topics as well. I like to think that over my years in working in consulting, I became quite good at motivating people. So I may also cover topics that cover motivation, work, how to develop yourself, mindset, and just general coaching tips to help you develop and also escape. And that's how you can treat this platform. It is an escape from the daily battles of work, family, friends, and all the other aspects that we put into our lives. Me personally, I did feel like I needed a bit of a mental health check-in personally. And in doing that, I realized that talking is a really good part of getting things out there. So I'll connect with you on mental health matters, how to stay healthy, how to do things that benefit you in the long run, and how to avoid things like burnout and to stay persistent in what you're doing. So let me tell you a little bit about SCCYBER. SCCYBER is the company that I created at the end of 2025. And the reason why I created the business was because I was already making content, but that content started to develop into business opportunities for me. And I wasn't taking those business opportunities seriously because I had other commitments. And I still have other commitments, but I managed to create a space in my schedule for starting to take those commitments, well, those inquiries a little bit seriously. And when I started to take those inquiries more seriously, it very quickly developed into SCCYBER, the business today. I speak to clients, I go into businesses, and I educate them through engaging workshops about cybersecurity. But it's not just a workshop. Following the workshop, I continue to support the client so that they know that what they gained in the workshop, as in knowledge, information, is being used. And I practically engage with the business after the workshop to make sure that the good habits continue and that they start, right? Because to continue something, you have to start it. And I play a big part in the industry doing that. I also do public speaking and public workshops at Oldham College, and I'm planning on doing more with other educational organizations as well. And aside from that, I do a lot of media stuff, like content, of course, this podcast now. And I'm working with a few brands and a few organizations on that as well for the future. So some really exciting things to come in 2026. Now, this is episode 1. So there's no organization, there's no structure, there's no script, there's no guidelines. We're just free flowing for this one and just talking about the introduction of cybersecurity. So why is it called Cybersecurity Break? Well, for one, it's a really cool play on the words, cybersecurity and tea. But also, for me, tea is a huge part of my life. And right before this recording, I just had my cup of tea. But it's an opportunity to sit down and have a cup of tea and talk. I was talking about tea and how important it is. It's really important to me, not just because I drink 2 or 3 cups a day, but culturally, it's a big part of my life. You know, uh, when I'm with my friends, we will have a cup of tea. When I'm with family, we will drink tea together. Um, Me and my partner, we talk a lot over cups of tea. Uh, in fact, it's the first thing that we do together each day, and probably one of the last things we do together at the end of the day. And I've built a lot of valuable relationships around the cup of tea, but also it's a great opportunity to just sit down and unwind and just get to know each other. So this is why I called it that. But of course, the tea break in English culture in general and British culture in general is a huge part of our culture. And we all have our preferences. You know, you might have a preference to a certain type of tea or a certain style of tea, and that's fine. But regardless of what your style, what your preferences are, we're all doing the same thing. And I think that applies to everything. And we can sit down and talk about everything over that cup of tea. So that's the reason why I called it that. So if you're interested and you're in cybersecurity and you want to have a cup of tea with me, send me an email, send me a message, and I'll be more than happy to connect with you. In terms of the concept, it's very much like this. This is, like I said, episode 1. So it's the early phase of this podcast, where I hope to grow it into something engaging. Personally, I'm not looking for any kind of profit out of this. I'm just using it as a platform for me to engage with people and just enjoy the conversation, for me to unwind a little bit and just sit in front of the camera and get some talking done. Because talking is good for the mind, and so is spending time together. So, in this digital world where many don't have the time to just sit down and chat, sit down and listen, I hope you take the opportunity to listen to this podcast and just engage with what we're saying. I'm very open-minded in terms of topics. I'm, like I said, less structured with this format. So I'm more open to have discussions that I wouldn't normally have on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts. But of course, the topics that we cover in this podcast, there'll be a wide range of them. So we may talk about family one day, we may talk about politics another, but they will all be in connection to cybersecurity and the general topic. And that's the gist of it, really. It's not really that complicated. I hope for you it's quite easy to understand, and it will evolve. It will evolve and develop as time goes on. But we're going to keep it as raw and as natural as possible, because, like I said earlier, it's important that you get to know the human behind the screen. And you know, I am human also, right? I'm just like you. You know, I enjoy music, I enjoy movies, I enjoy video games. You know, I'm a bit nerdy, so I'll go online and I'll engage with people. I do certain activities. You know, I build Lego sets, right? I'm just like you. So whatever your interests are, feel free to engage, and I'll be more than happy to discuss them with you. And the last thing I want to cover before I finally put an end to this recording is that if you are someone that sees value in the escape, I'm not going to be asking for hours and hours of your time. This is not going to be like one of those podcasts that goes on for hours and hours. just like my content, it's going to be short enough for you to listen and enjoy, but not too long where it eats into other things. And that's where I hope I'll provide value. There may be certain episodes that do go on for slightly longer. And if you can't watch the whole thing, that's absolutely fine. But if you can, of course, I'd be very grateful. And I'm grateful for everyone that connects with me and engages. If you get the opportunity to do so, check out my website. My website is www.sccyber.co.uk. You can find me on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. It's at Sham Chats Cyber. And of course, you can send me an email. You can send me a DM. I try to reply to everyone, and if you're interested as well in, getting to know more about me, I'm more than happy to share and speak to you about it. So I hope that covers everything. If you got this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to my channels, become a follower, leave a comment, share this with your friends in the industry or not in the industry. And I hope to see you all again very, very soon. All the best.